Simon Hacking here from Harewood Travel. Got Katie Bunting with me from Sunville. Today we're going to talk about Nordic iconic experiences. The point of these trips is that they offer something unique, something very, very different. And each of the places we're going to talk about in themselves offer something that's quite unique and quite special. And to understand what makes them so special, because we're talking about the particular places we're talking about are in Swedish Lapland. But in order to just set the scene about these, Katie's just going to talk for a minute or two about the culture, and then we're going to talk about the individual lodges themselves and what makes them so special. And it's the culture, because I heard Katie talk about this recently at a conference we went to, and I was absolutely blown away by it. And it's very much part of what makes it really special. The individual lodges, as I say, have their own sort of specialities. So Katie, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could just tell us about the culture there. I mean,
No worries.
what
Well,
do we need
thank
to know?
you for having me. Much appreciated. I'm really looking forward to sharing more about this magical region with yourself and of course
Yeah,
your
yeah.
customers. So I'll start by saying most people think that Lapland is actually a country, but it's not. It's actually a region in Northern Europe. So it spans across Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. But Lapland is especially important because of it's the traditional homeland of the Sami people. And this region to local people is also known as Sapmi. So you'll either hear them refer to it as Swedish Lapland, Sweden, or it's Sapmi. And it's actually the cultural region rather than like political borders. Now, the reason that the Sami people are so important is they are the Indigenous people of northern Scandinavia. They've lived in those regions for thousands of years. They've got their own language, their own traditions, music, art, culture, and identity. For many visitors, meeting the Sami people is one of the most memorable parts of the Arctic journey. It's that feeling because you get to learn about their history, their traditions, their contemporary life, and the respect that they have for the land and experience, but also you then have more of a respect for the local communities and the impact that the Sami people and their traditions have had on the land for thousands of years. So
It's quite typical that people get to interact with them when they stay there, don't they? So it's not
absolutely,
just
yeah.
that there's a chance you might see them, that you will see them, and there are opportunities or occasions when you can interact with them. And I think that respect that they have for the land, for like the reindeer and for the country and stuff, that's where the sort of the really sort of special stuff comes in, because they see it as something that is theirs, but they can share and stuff like that, I think, isn't it?
And you have, like, they tell stories around the fire whilst you're having a traditional Sami lunch. The Sami people are just amazing. I think all cultures could learn a lot from them with regards to their respect for nature and for the land. I think that is something that stays with me more than anything.
And I think it's now, if we move on to the lodges, I think it's important to explain that the people who run the lodges and the way the lodges are run are very much part of that culture. They fit into the environment, and you can call them kind of eco lodges too sort of overused, but they're very much part of the environment, and the way they are run and everything else is part of that, with that respect to the local culture and stuff, which I think is quite unusual in people might think of that as being in the Amazon or whatever it is, but in this part of the world, it's very unusual to have I don't know, such a separate culture, because like you say, most places are defined by political boundaries, aren't they?
Absolutely. And I think more so in Sweden, like I've noticed it more so in Swedish Lapland than sort of anywhere. And, as you said, you're not meeting when you check into these accommodations, like these iconic stays, you're not meeting a hotel manager, you're meeting the owners, you're meeting the visionaries behind it, the people that have literally built it from the ground upwards. And they are so passionate about what they do, and they want to, you know, they one accommodation in particular that we deal with, their kind of strapline is, we want you to arrive as strangers but leave as friends. And that's very much
A
the
great line,
feel
isn't it?
across all of Swedish Lapland. So, and I think when you are dealing with the visionaries and the owners, that experience is completely different to anywhere else in the world.
I know you said to me that there's that interesting thing about some people can arrive by different sort of modes of transport, or they can actually pick you up, and the person who picks you up is the owner. And part of the reason for that is that they want to get to know the people as well. They want the people to get the most out of the experience. It's not just you go away for a few days and chill out. It's enjoying the experience, enjoying the environment, and understanding the local culture and being part of it. And that really enriches the experience, which I know from my point of view, when I was listening to you talk about it before, just makes it so interesting and so particular.
Yeah, absolutely. It's those personal touches that really make the difference. Like I said, you do arrive as strangers and leave as friends because they do want to get to know you and they want to know, silly little things like how do you take your coffee? So they don't have to keep asking you, and what's your favorite snack and all of those different, it's just the little
Yeah, the personal
touches.
stuff.
And when we talk about, those authentic experiences, the people are authentic and they genuinely want you to have an amazing experience, an amazing time when you're there.
Fantastic. Should we talk about the actual lodges themselves? I don't know which order,
Yeah.
but I mean, maybe if we start with the Logger Hotel.
So Loggers Lodge is run by Eric and Jurgen. They're best friends, basically. They've been friends for years. And Jurgen, he's kind of like the guy in the background that does the most amazing food, best cinnamon buns I've ever had in my life. And then you've got
I'm
Eric.
into that one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got Eric, who kind of does more of like the hands-on with like the activities and those kind of things. But it's often Eric that will kind of come and pick you up from the airport. Whether he'll do the driving, but then you've also got options of like helicopter transfers for
Nice.
Loggers Lodge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very much in the middle of nowhere. It's this stunning accommodation that it's the main lodge itself sleeps two, but then they've also built a separate unit, which can also sleep 2 to 3 people. The main lodge has in-room dining. You've got all the facilities that you could possibly want. You've got the most beautiful log fire at the end of the bed, and again, those stunning views of the wilderness from your lodge. They've got outside there's the separate unit which has its own separate bathroom, glass everywhere, so you really feel like you're immersed in nature. They've got a stunning hot tub outside, so if you can just imagine sort of sitting in the middle of nowhere surrounded by nature with the northern lights going above your head, it's totally idyllic. And then they've got another separate unit which is the sauna. And again, it's all glass, so you can sit in the sauna and just really feel a part of nature. So the accommodation itself is very high end. It's absolutely stunning, but it also feels, it's almost like a home away from home feeling with all those little details.
I think
And
that
the
person I talked about collecting and stuff like that, that's the whole point, isn't it? That you're not
absolutely,
just
so
going to,
they
it's not a hotel you're going to, it's almost like it's their place and you're going
it
to
is,
stay with
and
friends.
that accommodation is yours for the time. Like, so all of that is yours for that time of stay. There's no other guests there. It will just be you. So everything is focused around you and what you want, and that's everything from dining to the experiences. So, Eric and Jurgen will take you out, whether or not you're wanting to go snowshoeing or if you're wanting to do the snowmobiles. And they do this experience where you can go and you go for a bit of a sort of snowshoeing experience, but then you go for lunch, and Jurgen's normally cooking around the fire and you're literally sat out on reindeer skins in the snow having the most amazing food that Jurgen's prepared on the fire.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
it's absolutely stunning accommodation, and because it is in the middle of nowhere, you just feel completely off grid. If you really want to ground yourself, feel really centered, and that is just the place to do it.
I think
And
it's
they can
fair to say as well that it's mainly a winter experience, isn't it? Because you get the amazing conditions and with the bonus quite often of the Northern Lights, obviously not guaranteed, but quite often the bonus of the Northern Lights. And it's that, I think that what we identify with the Arctic is that kind of sort of frosty experience, isn't it? That's the
think
peak time to go.
Yeah, that I guess that is kind of the peak time to go because that's what people know. But actually, the summer months are equally as beautiful because you've
Right.
got the land of the
Yeah.
midnight sun. The sun
Yeah.
doesn't set. So, but it's great for activities like you can do paddleboarding, kayaking. There's endless hikes. You can go foraging. But if you were to look at the autumn, you've then got the autumn colours and you also get the northern lights. So if you're wanting more activities and things, so it's the Swedish Lapland actually has 8 different seasons throughout the year. So you can you're literally, you're spoiled with options basically. But I guess most people will know it for that snowy, the experience with the, like I say, the snowmobiling and things like that.
Fantastic. So let's move on to, is it the Arctic retreat? Is that the
Arctic Retreat, yes.
yeah.
Arctic Retreat is located on a river. It's great place for Northern Lights again. Graham and the team here, again, it's kind of like stepping home away from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
The head chef Emmanuel, his food is outstanding. You've got Josephine, who kind of runs like the guest services side. She is guest services. Everybody loves her. And then Graham is the owner's sort of manager. So you'll be greeted by this amazing team.
Very small team.
Sorry.
Small team. That's that
Yes, yeah,
personalized
yeah.
thing again,
There's
isn't
not
it?
many of them, and you have 3 cabins, each with its own private hot tub out on the terrace. So again, you can sort of sit in your hot tub and watch the Northern Lights and at night if you wish. There is a sort of a social building, I guess, but it's more of a room that can be used if you want to sort of have private dining, or if you're wanting to have like a massage, they can arrange for a masseuse to come in and do that. And then you've got like, they call it the main building, but it's basically just the couple of tables, which is the restaurant, and then there's a small bar there. So, and all of the activities here are private to that accommodation. So you know that if you're going out snowmobiling or anything like that, then it's only the guests that are staying at
It's
that
just you.
accommodation. You can hire it as just, one lodge, or you can hire all 3
Yeah.
as a collective. But again, for me, it's very much that feeling of attention to detail. No request is too small. Each room comes with its own iPad, so with a WhatsApp, so you can message Josephine if you want a gin and tonic in your hot tub, or if you need help lighting the log fire in your room, or those kind of things. But again, it's the attention to detail. So a lot of the properties in that area all deal with the same cosmetic provider, in the sense that all of the shower gel and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. Again, it's all locally sourced. It's all, used
Fantastic.
from like
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
berries and things like that. So it's the small attention to detail, but again, that amazing personal experience. And it was actually here that we had the Sami lunch and tails. So you have this amazing dinner that has been cooked by Emmanuel and the Sami
Army people.
tribe, and then you'll sit in it's like the teepee tent kind of thing with a fire going, and you sit
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
reindeer skins, eating out of your wooden bowls, listening to the Sami tales, and there's nothing quite like it.
I'm
It's
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have your warm lingonberry juice to keep you
Yeah.
warm, and yeah, it's
I
just
think
magical.
I think it's also worth saying that the food is very much an authentic kind of cuisine rather than some people like the Michelin star thing. It's very much the authentic, locally sourced sort of experience, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that Sweden does really well, is the food is just phenomenal, and they very much rely on the land. So you will have a lot of lingonberry, you will eat reindeer, you will eat moose and all these different things. So they do kind of like I say, rely on the land, and the menus will very much reflect what was in season. And you have these unique things like cloudberry. I'd never tried cloudberry before, and they do all these weird
Never
and
heard of it.
wonderful things with it. And
Yeah.
the gastronomy there is sensational. So if you are a foodie, Swedish Lapland is absolutely incredible.
Fantastic. So moving on to, what about safari? Was it called Safari Camp?
Yeah, so we've got Aurora Safari Camp. Now, Jonas is Swedish. His wife is Kenyan. They met in Kenya. And basically what they wanted to do was take that kind of camping element but bring it to Sweden. So they've got these incredible, it's not camping, it's like you are literally staying in a lodge, but it's shaped like a safari tent. And then they've got 2 glass igloos at the top as well. But it's really kind of authentic in the sense that you don't have, like, you'll have a toilet and a sink in your rooms, but the showers are in the sauna block, and
Right, right.
You're literally
So the
located.
safari experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
located
yeah.
on a river. So when you check in on in a different building, and then you're transferred over with your luggage across the frozen river
River, yeah.
or lake on the snowmobiles. So you will kind of like pull up, and then you've got these amazing tents, and the main restaurant there, or like the main building there, has a small bar, and again there's a few tables and things, but it's safari tent material, and a really kind of like wilderness experience. It's probably one of the best places that I've ever witnessed the Northern Lights. Standing, and Jonas is fantastic. Like, he'll come if you're getting into bed and the Northern Lights are going, he'll come and knock on your door and say, they're going off, like, get out of
Now's the
bed.
time.
He's just the coolest guy, and he absolutely loves what he does. And it's a family run business, like his daughter is there. You've got like his nephews helping out, and it's a real kind of family thing. But then in the summer, they offer a floating safari experience. So you can actually stay out on the water on a floating tent, and you get there like with your kayak, and they've got like a boat that runs food out to you, and you can do your
Wow. I can't think of
paddleboard.
anywhere that had offered something like that.
Yeah, it's just, honestly,
Amazing.
it's iconic in the sense that there is no other. I've never experienced anything like that
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
and just that, like I say, that passion and that enthusiasm that Jonas brings
Fantastic.
to it
Yeah.
is incredible. And everything, the way that the accommodation is done is, again, it's very respectful of the land. So they have incinerator toilets so that the plumbing isn't affecting the local land.
Right, right.
They've got your water is provided. They basically have it on like a water system that they fill up the water and then bring it, and that's how you have your water supply. So again, everything is done with the land in mind and
I think I do
respecting
have
it.
to just check one thing, though. I mean, you're talking about tent materials and we're talking about the Arctic. Well, I think we would just have to reassure people that it also is quite warm, isn't it?
Absolutely. So each of the cabins has got these. They've got heating in them, but
Yeah.
they also have a it's a log fire, but it's fueled by pellets.
Okay.
So if the temperature in the room drops to a certain temperature,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pellets drop down and the fire roars up. So
Very funny.
yeah, so you've got, again, like, you can sit in your room with, the fire going. You've got views over the frozen lake with the snow tips, pine trees, and you've got your blanket, and it's just, a warm cup of lingonberry juice, and it's just the most incredible, cozy experience
What's
ever.
not to like, I suppose, really?
Yeah.
So finally, can we talk about I don't know if it's the most famous one, but quite probably the most unusual one, the Tree Hotel?
Yeah, sure. So, Tree Hotel is, like you said, it's well known. It's been on a lot of social media. It's been on a lot of
Yeah.
TV shows. Again, it's one of those iconic stays. So it's actually made up of 8 different cabins. There is a 9th one being built as we speak. And you've got everything in there, from a mirrored cube to a UFO pod. There's a bird's nest. Biosphere, which is made up, it's glass, and then it's surrounded by bird boxes, and these incredibly modern architect and design influenced properties.
Yeah.
And then the main building is actually a listed building. It used to be a nursing home back in the day, and what they've done is really kind of kept it as a little time trap, like little time warp, basically. It's like stepping into your nan's house, because it's very sort of these decor.
Wow.
It's very
Yeah.
warm, it's very cozy. So you have such a contrast with the main building being this little time capsule, and then a 10-minute walk away are these incredibly modern cabins.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are just absolutely unique, and they're all within sort of walking distance of one another, but they're spread out enough that you don't feel like you're on top of each
Yeah.
other, and there's different shapes and sizes for all. But again, it's those kind of breathtaking, iconic views that you have, and again, just feeling like you really are in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, with just the most stunning views and nature surrounding you.
Fantastic. I mean, what an amazing array of, and there's more things we could talk about, but what an amazing array of places that are each in their own right very different, but celebrate a particular type of culture, both in terms of the Sami people, but also in terms of service and the way that they view people who stay there, not just as people who are they are their guests, almost like a family guest, rather than just someone who's staying in a particular place. And you've got those fantastic sort of unique experiences that there isn't nowhere else like it really that can offer it in quite the same sort of way with a mix of things.
That's
So
it. And
that was
activities are,
sorry.
there's so much to choose from. It's not just your snowmobiling, your reindeers, your
Yeah,
huskies.
yeah,
We work with a local blacksmith who actually work using the um, Swedish traditions of blacksmithing. So they use the old styles. You can actually go and, learn how to make something with them. And we've then got Eva, she does all the foraging and, again, sort of will teach you about how you can live off the land. And, there's lots of different activities that kind of really bring Swedish Lapland to life, I guess.
fantastic. Look, that's a fantastic. It's a bit. You gave us a bit more than an overview there, which is brilliant because, for me, it's again the same as said when I saw you talk before. There's like a passion about how you speak about it because I think it creates that in people, and that's the experience. It's of course it's a nice place to stay, they're quite chilled places to stay. You've got amazing scenery. There's the possibility of northern lights, but there's that unique experience that makes it so special in a place that celebrates the land and the culture of the land that goes back a long time. That different. It's not unique in the world in that people don't celebrate that kind of thing, but it celebrates it in a particular way. And I'd really like to thank you for your time on that, Katie. And we'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.